Have you ever opened a closet door or maybe walked into an entryway only to be hit by just an absolute wall of pungent foot odor?
Oh, yes. It is the worst.
It really is. It's a universally relatable and, let's be honest, a completely embarrassing struggle.
Definitely.
Today, we are doing a deep dive into an engineering paper tackling this exact, very smelly problem. It actually just won the 2025 Ig Nobel Prize for engineering design.
Right, and if you aren't familiar with the Ig Nobel, it's a highly anticipated satirical award. It honors unusual research that first makes people laugh and then makes them think.
Can definitely make you think here.
Yeah, the researchers conducted a fascinating engineering analysis of how foul-smelling shoes completely ruin the user experience of a shoe rack.
Which is such a brilliant angle.
Yeah.
But to understand their engineering solution, we first need to look at the biology, like what is actually causing that intense smell?
Well, the paper zeroes in on hot climates. When you mix hot weather with sweaty physical activity, you create the ultimate breeding ground for a notoriously stinky bacteria called Kytococcus sedentarius.
Kytococcus sedentarius. That sounds incredibly intimidating.
It does.
For those of us who aren't microbiologists, what exactly is that bacteria doing inside our sneakers?
You can think of it as a microscopic factory. It basically feeds on your sweat and produces sulfur compounds as a byproduct.
Sulfur.
Exactly. That sulfur is what causes that distinct room-clearing stink. And when you trap that bacteria in a closed environment like your typical shoe rack, the smell quickly dominates the house.
Right, and the researchers point out a massive ergonomic blind spot here, right?
Yes, precisely. Past shoe rack designs only really looked at physical usability, how much you have to bend down, how far you reach, how to save floor space.
But they completely ignored the sensory user experience.
They did.
I mean, you can have a sleekest, most modern organizer in the world,
Yeah.
but if it smells like a locker room, the design has failed. I actually remember a college road trip where I had to seal my favorite running sneakers in 3 plastic bags.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had to tie them to the roof of the car just so we could survive the drive.
That is hilarious. But it's so true. The researchers actually quantified that exact feeling of panic. They surveyed 149 university students, and the data paints a really vivid picture of social anxiety.
What did they find?
Almost 55% reported feeling genuinely uncomfortable around others because of their shoe odor.
Wow.
And even wilder, over 52% admitted they have actually fled a room out of sheer embarrassment because the smell was so bad.
Over half the people surveyed literally ran away from the smell.
Literally fled the room.
If this is such a widespread issue causing genuine social distress, why aren't people just using deodorizers to fix it?
The survey data covers that too. A staggering 88% of these students had absolutely no idea that anti-odor products even exist.
88%.
Yeah, so because they don't know there are specialized solutions, they end up constantly washing their shoes or just leaving them out to bake in the hot sun.
Which physically degrades the materials and completely ruins the footwear over time. But even for the tiny fraction of people who do buy those odor-eliminating gadgets, the current market solutions aren't exactly perfect.
Not at all. The paper highlights why current solutions fail for everyday households. Things like individual ozone sanitizers or UV inserts only treat a single pair of shoes at a time.
Right.
Plus, they have remarkably short lifespans, and their rigid physical shape can stretch out and actually damage your shoes while sitting inside them.
So buying individual electronic pods for a family of 4 who use multiple pairs daily is just a logistical nightmare.
Exactly.
How did the engineering team solve this?
They proposed a brilliantly simple redesign. Instead of treating shoes individually, they integrated a 24-volt UVC tube light directly into the structure of a standard multi-pair shoe rack.
Oh, built right into the rack.
Right, and they specifically utilized a 270 to 280 nanometer wavelength for this light.
Let's break that down for someone who might not be a lighting engineer. Why does that specific nanometer wavelength matter?
It is the exact frequency required to penetrate the cell walls of that Kytococcus sedentarius bacteria. It effectively scrambles their DNA so they can no longer reproduce or generate those foul sulfur odors.
So the rack itself basically becomes the exterminator.
It does.
How did they prove this actually works outside of just, a laboratory theory?
They designed the ultimate stress test. The researchers gathered highly potent, actively foul-smelling shoes belonging to university athletes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and they placed them inside a cardboard enclosure hooked up to this new UVC setup.
I cannot even imagine the smell inside that cardboard box. University athlete shoes are in a league of their own.
Oh, absolutely.
What were the results?
The outcome was incredible. Just 2 to 3 minutes of UVC exposure successfully killed the bacteria and eliminated the odor entirely.
2 to 3 minutes.
Just 2 to 3 minutes, it left behind only a harmless, very mild scent, a complete reset for the shoes.
That fundamentally changes the game for household storage.
Yeah.
It really proves the researchers' main takeaway, that true ergonomic design has to encompass the entire sensory experience.
Exactly. A good design shouldn't just look and feel good to use. It shouldn't stink either.
It definitely forces you to rethink what we should expect from our everyday furniture. It makes you wonder if the simple 3-minute UVC blast can completely revolutionize our shoe racks. What other smelly, overlooked storage spaces in your home are desperately waiting for an engineering redesign?
Oh, the laundry hamper, for sure.
The laundry hamper, the gym bag, the options are endless. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the research. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and share this with anyone who might have a smelly shoe situation. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.